All right,
best.
cool. Let's get it. We in New York. We eat the profit. How's New York been treating you?
Bro.
How's life, bro?
New York's great, dog. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
What type of things you been doing since you've been out here, man?
Man, just interviews, studio sessions, shopping, trying to, get around, but it takes a long time to get places here. So, because it takes such a long time, I don't really spend that much time at the place that we're at, because you just got to stick to the schedule. But no, bro, it's great. I've been trying to enjoy it. It's my first time in New York, so trying to see how get the authentic experience. So
Yeah, I feel you. Be honest, bro. You enjoy press runs, or you rather just be in the stew, like working on your craft?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy the trips that come with the press runs, and I enjoy the interviews. I enjoy talking to people and, being able to, like, hear people's opinions and perspectives and stuff like that. That's cool. But, nah, bro, the studio is something that's just, like, it's like my, my little place. So, not always. I'm always going to prefer the studio over anything. So,
Yeah. What are your sessions like?
oh, my sessions kind of vary. Back home, it's usually just me and my engineer. It's usually pretty chill. We'll set the vibe right and then, get straight into the work because I usually like to have things written beforehand. And sometimes I'll go in and I'll write in the stew and we'll just enjoy the music, keep on playing and, catch the mood. So,
Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting to hear because the majority of rappers that I've spoken to nowadays definitely freestyle. Majority, or at least they claim to. But it's cool to hear someone like say they actually write their bars before stepping in the stew.
no, yeah, I'm just I've always been good at having stuff like written down. Like it makes it so much easier for me to just actually accomplish stuff when I write it down. So always.
I feel you. And you're coming by way of Kentucky, right?
Yeah. So yeah. Go ahead.
Nah, what was that like?
Right. It was it's like a 10, 11 hour drive maybe. So we stopped in Cleveland on Saturday to open up for Kenji. And then it was 3 hours from Cincy to Cleveland, and then we drove from Cleveland straight up to New York, which was around like 7 hours. So, but no, the drive was smooth. I didn't have to drive, so I can't really complain.
Yeah. I feel you like life on the road like that?
Yeah, I do actually, bro. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy getting to like experience things for the first time and just see what the world has to offer, bro. So yeah, I definitely enjoy it.
And what was the show with Kenji like?
Oh, it was great, bro. The energy was insane. It's great to see how the crowd interacts with how Dro interacts with the crowd. Getting some of that energy. Midwest was on the tour too. So yeah, it was just dope, bro. It was dope to see them guys there. They're super good at what they do. So.
Yeah, that shit is definitely dope. I mean, I linked with Midwest before for an interview. Good energy as well. How did you and Kenji link up for the first time, though? Because I know you have a track as well.
Yeah, first time me and Dro met was out in L.A. We got a couple studio sessions. We got one session, actually, in Paramount Studio. And then our flight got delayed, so we ended up staying in L.A. for like an extra 4 days or something like that. And I hit him back up. And we got another session in Internet Money. And that's how we ended up making the track. But nah, bro, Dro's super cool, really authentic people. It's cool.
That's cool. So you said you had a flight delayed and then ended up just like seeing the glass half full, using that as an opportunity.
Always, bro. It's always an opportunity, yeah. You just got to see it, see the bright side of stuff.
Yeah. So going back to your upbringing, growing up in Kentucky, what was that like for you?
Kentucky was weird, bro, because like the part of Kentucky that I live in is Northern Kentucky, which is real close to Cincinnati. So I think my experience compared to like people's general idea of like what Kentucky is or what they would experience growing up is a little different. But no, Kentucky was smooth. Big on sports down there because we don't have like a professional team at all. But they go dumb hard in sports. They go hard in the hoop and football. But no, bro, Kentucky's cool. It's a cool place. It's a cool place.
Did you play sports growing up yourself?
Yeah, I did. I started playing basketball in like middle school. I started playing football my junior year of high school, and then I played football in college.
That's far. Oh, for real?
Yeah.
What school you go to?
I went to Thomas More. It was cool, bro. I enjoyed school because I enjoyed like learning, and I always like learning new things. But I wasn't in love with football like that, so I ended up quitting my senior year to just focus on music full time. But
yeah, no, I've actually played college football as well too. Well,
okay.
played would be a stretch. I was on the bench, but I only made it to my sophomore year. So
what position?
I played quarterback in high school. Then in college they moved me to receiver. So
Okay.
yeah, I was like figuring it out, but kind of undersized for a receiver, shit like
nah,
that.
bro, receiver, it's a hard switch. People don't realize it, bro. You get into college and you like this instant grown man, bro. And there's a difference between being 18 and 23. Like, there's a huge difference.
Right, yeah, the practice is crazy competitive too. Like high school, you know, I mean, starters is just killing everyone, so you don't really get that game feel.
Bro.
In practice, like in college, when you're trying to get a spot.
I was tired after the warm up in college, bro. Like before practice, like it was a different animal for sure.
I feel you. That's cool though. Yeah, I definitely figured you'd be pretty big into the sports. Yeah, my grandma also is from Kentucky, kind of near Ohio as well.
That's fire.
Yeah, but what else was I about to ask you? So shit. Yeah, you mentioned like people having misconceptions about Kentucky. What do you think are some of the biggest ones?
Oh, I think people think Kentucky's like just a bunch of like country, bro. And you know, just from my experience of Kentucky, I wouldn't say it is. Especially, you know, because the Kentucky that I deal with usually consists of like Northern Kentucky and like Louisville or like Lexington, which are all like pretty urban areas. And obviously there are some rural areas out there, but like I think everybody thinks we just like living in the woods or something, bro. But nah, Kentucky's cool, bro. It's cool.
Yeah. So you're growing up playing sports. What other type of things were you doing growing up?
Man.
Like just like even like shows you were into, things you like to do
Bro,
on the weekends, all that shit.
I was into everything as a kid. I was super curious, so like I tried my hand in everything. I loved like art. I loved like music. I used to play the drums. I took drum lessons in like first grade, and I played all the way up until like middle school. And then like shows, bro. I'm still a big cartoon fan, bro. I started getting hip to like animes and stuff like that back in like I guess elementary school. I got hip to like my first anime. But nah, I'm still curious, bro. I'll watch anything. So, you feel me?
Yeah, bro. How old were you when you started playing the drums?
Ooh. First or second grade, bro. I was youngin', so I was probably like 6 or 7 maybe around there. Maybe even younger than that. But no, they started me out on like just the snare drum. So it was like just one drum and it's like, you know, like simple stuff. And then eventually we ended up like copying a drum set. I still took lessons from this dude who like he actually exposed me to like a lot of like rock and roll and just other music too through that. So I guess that was a pretty formative experience for me. But yeah.
Yeah, that's fire, bro. That's a great foundation too, like learning a percussion instrument.
Absolutely, bro. Just the pockets he was able to show me and just like, I don't know, bro. Drums it's just the rhythm. It's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Because I actually think a lot of people don't know about me. I played the clarinet growing up, but I wish I chose it when I was 8, bro. So like I wish somebody like told me to pick an instrument that you could like actually play in the band. You know what I mean? Like
I feel you.
Like the drums or like bass or keys, like some shit I'd probably be performing today, like instead of doing interviews.
Piano would be hard. I've always wanted to know piano and guitar, but I feel like I've always wanted to know guitar because I feel like I don't know, but that's just so smooth to be able to just like whip it out and like, you know what I'm saying? That'd be hard. But no, piano I think would be super, especially in the industry that I'm in now, you know. It would be super useful to be able to just play that. I mean, I can read music and stuff like that, but as far as like chords and progressions and things like that, I have no idea. So, can't really do that.
So you said you were playing the drums, kind of got into rock music from that, and then when did it switch like to you wanting to rap, or like were you always listening to hip hop?
I was always listening to hip hop. Hip hop was like the first music I can remember hearing. But like when I was rapping, bro, I started rapping real young too. I used to write rhymes in like first grade. Me and my friends used to started this little rap group called like Money and Family, and it was like 3 of us, bro. We were second graders, and we thought we were gonna be like we was aiming for the top. But no, bro, it was just like little funny things like that. I used to like have a toy like piano keyboard and like a tape cassette, and I would like record myself and like just play a loop off the little toy piano. But like, yeah, bro, rap's always been a part of like my life and the things that I've done. So it's kind of cool how it's just like, you know, full circle now, and it's the majority of the time that I spend, you know. So
yeah, what were some of the artists that you were listening to?
I was listening to everybody too, man. But I think really as a kid, the ones that I can like really say I think had an impact on me would be like Andre 3000 and Outkast. You know, like Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Drake, I was a huge Biggie fan growing up as a kid. I feel like he was like my first, like, Biggie was like the first real artist I was a fan of, you know, like he was like the first one I like got on YouTube and like dug through all of his like discography for and all of that stuff. But nah, bro, I was listening to anybody, honestly. As long as it sounded good, I would give it a chance. I didn't care about the genre or like any of that. It's just how it goes.
Yeah. And what type of things were you hearing just like in the house or in your neighborhood just from like family members, you know, your moms, OGs, whatever?
So OGs around me were always playing like Cameron, 50 Cent, a lot of those dudes. That was a funny time. My mom still to this day loves gospel music. Always playing gospel, soul. I think I got a lot of the soul that I love from my mom too. But nah, bro, it's just, you know, this is funny because these like different generations and different people all came together to, you know, expose me to the music, and that all came together to change my perspective and the way that I look at it now. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So at what point, like, with you rapping, did you decide this is something I really want to do?
Man, I feel like it's something I always kind of knew I wanted to do, but I just never really like knew how to do it, you know? And I feel like I was kind of messing around with it and dropping tracks here and there for a couple years before, you know, I finally, you know, met with the team and had got the plan and the vision that I have now. And, you know, I feel like we've been dropping things the right way and taking it, you know, seriously for like the past 2 years. And, you know, the results are there for it. So I would say, you know, yeah, like 2 years.
Yeah. No, I definitely like to how you're talking about just making sure you do it the right way, and definitely got 2 very solid, concise projects, and E for Effort, and then 2 Effortless for sure.
Appreciate you.
But so at what point did you come up with the name E the Prophet? Tell us about that.
So everybody's always called me E throughout my entire life. Real name is like Elijah. And Elijah was like a biblical prophet. So I kind of just took like the prophet and made a little play on words and changed it out. Used the prophet for money, and, you know, dropped the Elijah and just kept the E. So, you know, E the Prophet. And that's really kind of where it came from. Yeah, appreciate you.
Let's see. So yeah, so what would you say is like kind of the hardest parts about being an artist in this day and age to like really make yourself differentiated or to kind of grow in your career?
I think the hardest part for me personally about all of this, right? So there's like the music and then there's like the business. And the music part is always going to be, I feel like, what's easy to me because it's what comes naturally. It's like, you know, just a God-given gift, and I'm lucky that I got it. But I wouldn't even say the business, but like just like, bro, being active on like social media and like keeping up with like today's day and age of like the attention spans and people just, you know, not really grasping things the way that they used to. It's a lot harder to kind of to try and get that attention from new fans and stand out. But if you stay true to like quality over quantity, you're usually able to, you know, break that barrier. But that's really the hardest thing for me, bro. It's just like the socials and the content, because that's you know, it's not what I signed up for, but it is what I signed up for because it's the world we live in, and, you know, I have to adapt. So
yeah. So speaking of socials, you had a pretty big viral moment on TikTok with the evergreen visual.
yeah.
So I wanted to know, kind of like, Soul Serum Outlet is definitely a big supporter of your movement. Like, how do you kind of like get in tune with that?
Okay, so yeah, Soul Serum production company out of Cincinnati. My one of my co-managers, actually, he's the owner of Soul Serum. And we had met a couple years ago, even more, like I'd say maybe like 4 years ago. Reached out to him. He was like, "Yo, you're dope," blah, blah, blah. And we like chopped it up. And then he was like, "Yo, you ever need a video? Let's like we'll lock it in." And so we did like 4 videos a long time ago before, you know, started taking things more serious. Then we linked back together and got the evergreen video in, so that was super dope because it was like a full circle moment, honestly. But no, bro, Soul Serum's dope. The visuals they're able to do, the things that they're able to do on screen, the concepts they have, and the way they're able to bring it all to life. It's just dope to see how they're able to work.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely got the visuals on point. What were some kind of like, are there any like media looks or certain cosigns you've gotten in your career that stand out compared to others?
Oh man, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like every cosign stands out to me, you know, because coming from a point where nobody was hearing me to like anybody is hearing you. You know, it's something that I think people take for granted. Because like I get on my social sometimes, and I'm like, am I gonna reply to all these like comments, and it's like annoying, but then it's like, bro, but I gotta realize like I'm lucky to even have people interacting with me and like actually enjoying my music, because that's not something that like that's not something that I deserve. You know, it's something you have to work for, something you have to earn. So, I'm super appreciative of all of that. So I'd say every single time anyone says anything about my music, it's important, you know.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about your music a little bit. So the 2 projects, E for Effort and then 2 Effortless, like how did you conceive of those as concepts?
Well, I would say like Effortless, right, is like this concept that I've kind of really fused with over the last couple of years, just because it describes a lot for me in like my sound and my process, because I like for things to just be like organic and flow, you know what I'm saying? So like E for Effortless really for me worked out because the songs that the tape consisted of were all just made without any thought put behind it. I was really just vibing with the music and fit in the pocket the best I could, and letting the song write itself. And that's really why I think the tapes ended up being so cohesive and like such good listens, because everything just made itself. It was organic, and I think that's why that's why Effortless is a good term for the music that I try to create.
And what's the track on either of those projects, or just if somebody needs to learn about you and there's a track they got to hear, what's that track?
Man, if you need to hear about Either Prophet, you need to check out Bluegrass. I think that's like the quintessential Either Prophet song. That's usually the thing that gets a lot of people hip. It's actually in 2K right now. So if you play in 2K and you hear it, yeah.
That's super fire. You play 2K yourself?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm terrible at 2K.
Me too.
Bro, my attention span is trash, so I can barely make it past like the second quarter. And I'd rather hoop in real life. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you. One thing I like about the project too is you have some skits, which is something you don't really see a lot of people do these days. How'd you decide to do that?
Man, that's really just kind of like a nod to the music that I got to grow up with, listening to like the Good Kid, Mad Cities, and like the early Kanye West joints, and like hearing just the story and the craftsmanship that they put behind their music to make that album into an entire like experience for their listener. I really was able to take that inspiration and just fuse it into my own art.
Mm-hmm. Bro, I like the missed calls too. That shit's funny hearing you kind of break a little cameo too.
Yeah.
Telling your ass get in the studio or whatever. Haven't been picking up. That show is definitely funny.
Yeah.
So where do you stay at now, like day to day?
Day to day, I'm usually in Northern Kentucky or Cincinnati. One of the two. I'm always going between, but I'm only like 10 minutes away from each of them. So.
Yeah. So you kind of want to stay home for a bit, like, or you ever see yourself popping out like L.A., New York, one of the coasts?
I really do. I like the big cities. I'm not gonna lie. I was just telling one of my dudes that I love the big cities. I just love being like another person in like a sea of a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Because then you got all these people that are just worried about their own thing and they're not worried about you. And I think that's like such a dope experience to have. But also, Kentucky's home. Kentucky's what made me me. So I want to make it happen from Kentucky. In the future, do I see myself moving and getting a crib somewhere? I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But do I plan on having a crib there too? Yeah. So hopefully, God willing, I'm able to, make that happen.
Yeah, bro. That's fire. So cribs on both the coast and Kentucky. What are some other goals for Either Prophet?
Man, I just want to keep growing, bro. I just want to keep growing as a person, keep growing as an artist, keep going up, keep experiencing this thing called life. And hopefully, teach the lessons that I learned to my fans along the way.
That's fire. Any message for your fans to wrap up?
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. If you have heard of me, if you haven't, I encourage you to go look me up. And hopefully you rock with it. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, bro. Thank you.
Much love, bro.
Much love.